So in our last video for section 3, we're going to look at this example down here below. We want to prove that a certain identity works. We want to show that sine of theta plus pi equals negative sine of theta. So before I do too much with this, just want to draw you a quick picture to show you kind of what this thing will look like in the end, or exactly what we're trying to prove. If this is our unit circle, that's not a great one, but it will work. If this is theta, okay, sine of theta is whatever the y value is up here. I don't even care what the x value is, it's just what the y value is. So the right side of this equation here, negative sine of theta, just means go down here and think about the opposite of whatever that original y value is. Just flip it over, reflect over the x-axis, and it's going to be related to this point down here. Okay, so we can find the right side pretty easily. The left side says take whatever angle we had here and add pi. Well, adding pi is half a turn. So that's going to take us kind of down to here. It's going to be this point right here. And again, we're kind of interested in what the y value is there. And hopefully just through the reflections that you might notice, or the rotations, you notice that this point and this point are exactly the same. So visually, we can kind of get a sense of what this identity is trying to show us, that this point over here, the y value of it is exactly the same as what we had over here. Okay, so how do we actually prove that algebraically? So I'll be using this rule right here. Okay, it's kind of written out for us already. We have sine of theta plus pi. I think this is the more complicated side, and I'll start with this. And if I just apply this rule, my hope is that I can show you it will equal this in the end. Okay, I'm going to use all the space I have here. You already probably filled in some of this. So if I have sine theta plus pi to start out, my rule says take sine of the first angle, so sine of theta. I'm going to multiply by cosine of the second, so cosine of pi. And then I will add to that sine of the second angle, so sine of pi, times cosine of the first angle, and the first angle was theta. Okay, we'll just have to kind of ignore the squiggle that showed up there. So in the first little chunk, sine of theta is not going to change at all. But cosine of pi, the x value at the angle of pi is -1. So I have sine of theta times -1. And to that I'm going to add sine of pi. So what is the y value at the angle of pi? That's 0 times cosine of theta. So cosine right there. Okay, so I think you can kind of see where this is going right now. A sine of theta times -1 is negative sine of theta, and obviously 0 times cosine of theta just gets you 0. So there is my final answer, and I've proven this identity. So that's really all I wanted to show you in this short video here. We'll stop right there. Ask some questions in class.